September 18, 2021. At approximately 11:42 p.m., a routine housekeeping report from the night shift at Grand Meridian Hotel triggered a system check that, at the time, seemed like a simple administrative error. It wasn't. The Grand Meridian wasn't a small roadside hotel. It was a fully operational, mid-sized business hotel located near the outskirts of the city. 4 floors. 48 rooms. Standard security systems. Digital keycards. Central booking software. Nothing unusual. That night, the hotel was running at 62% occupancy. Every room that was in use was logged. Every guest was recorded. Except one. The report came from Nadia Rahman, a housekeeping staff member who had been working the late shift for over 3 years. She was experienced. Consistent. Not someone known for making mistakes. Her job that night was simple. Final room checks before midnight. According to her report, she reached room 407 at exactly 11:42 p.m. The room was marked as vacant in the system. Standard procedure required her to enter, check for cleanliness, and prepare it for the next day. She knocked. No response. She waited a few seconds, then used her keycard. The door unlocked. And when she opened it, the room lights were already on. That was the first irregularity. Housekeeping always leaves empty rooms with lights off. Nadia stepped inside. The air felt warm. Not unusually hot. But not the normal temperature of an unused room either. The bed was made perfectly. But something didn't match. The pillow had an indentation. Fresh. Like someone had been resting there recently. She froze for a moment. Then she checked the bathroom. The sink was wet. Not dripping. Not leaking. Wet. As if it had just been used minutes earlier. At this point, Nadia assumed the same thing most people would. A guest had been assigned the room. The system just hadn't updated yet. It happens. But then she noticed something else. The suitcase rack was open. And there was nothing on it. No luggage. No belongings. No signs of a guest. And yet, the room felt occupied. Not visually. But physically. Like someone had just stepped out, and could return at any moment. Nadia didn't stay long. She stepped out of the room, closed the door, and immediately contacted the front desk. That's where the situation changed. The front desk operator pulled up the system. Room 407 showed no booking. No check-in. No reservation. No payment record. Nothing. They checked again. Still nothing. Then they checked the keycard logs. Only one entry was recorded that night. Nadia's. According to the system. She was the first person to open that door. And yet, the lights were already on. The sink was wet. And the bed had already been used. That's when the front desk called Imran Qureshi, the night security supervisor. Within minutes, he arrived at the 4th floor. Nadia was waiting outside room 407. She hadn't gone back in. Imran asked her one question. "Did you see anyone?" She shook her head. "No, but someone was there." Imran didn't respond. He simply took out his access card, and opened the door. Imran Qureshi didn't hesitate. He pushed the door open slowly and stepped inside room 407, with Nadia standing just outside the hallway, unwilling to follow him back in. The first thing he did was scan the room visually, the same way he had done hundreds of times before during routine checks. Nothing appeared out of place at a glance. The lights were on. The bed was made. The room looked normal. But normal wasn't what this was. He walked toward the bed. Stopped for a moment. Then leaned slightly forward. The indentation on the pillow was still there. Not deep. Not dramatic. But recent. Imran reached out and pressed his hand lightly against it. The fabric adjusted immediately. It hadn't settled. That meant only one thing. Whatever had caused it, hadn't been long ago. He turned toward the bathroom. The sink was still damp. No dripping water. No leak. Just moisture. Fresh enough to reflect light. He checked the mirror. No fog. No marks. No fingerprints. Then he checked under the bed. Inside the closet. Behind the curtains. Nothing. No person. No belongings. No evidence that anyone had been staying there. He stepped back into the hallway and looked at Nadia. She didn't need an explanation. She could see it in his face. Something wasn't right. The first assumption was still the most logical one. A system error. So they escalated it. Within minutes, the front desk manager pulled up full system access logs, including booking history, housekeeping records, and digital keycard entries. Everything was cross-checked. Multiple times. Room 407 showed zero activity. No reservation. No manual override. No temporary assignment. Even the backup logs showed nothing. That's when Imran made the next decision. Check the cameras. The Grand Meridian had full CCTV coverage. Hallways. Elevators. Lobby. Entry points. Every floor was monitored. They pulled up footage from the 4th floor. Time range, 10:30 p.m. to 11:45 p.m. The hallway camera outside room 407 appeared stable. Clear view. No distortion. No interruptions. They began reviewing. 10:58 p.m., empty hallway. 11:12 p.m., empty hallway. 11:29 p.m., still nothing. At 11:42 p.m., Nadia appears on camera. Walking toward the room. Stopping at the door. Knocking. Then entering. They watched it again. And again. No one enters before her. No one exits. The corridor remained completely empty. That ruled out one possibility. No one had physically accessed that room. At least, not through the hallway. But Imran wasn't satisfied. He requested access to the elevator footage. All elevators leading to the 4th floor. They checked timestamps. Between 10 p.m. and 11:42 p.m. No one had gone up to that floor. No guests. No staff. No maintenance. Nothing. That left only one explanation. If someone had been inside room 407, they were already there. Before the room was marked vacant. But that created a bigger problem. Because according to the system, room 407 had been empty for 2 days. No bookings. No entry logs. No housekeeping activity. Nothing. And yet, at 11:42 p.m., the room showed clear signs of recent use. That's when something else was noticed. Something they had missed the first time. Imran requested playback again. This time slower. Frame by frame. At 11:41 p.m., just 1 minute before Nadia arrives. There's a change. Subtle. But visible. The door handle of room 407 moves. Slightly. Not opening. Not fully turning. Just enough to suggest pressure from the inside. They paused the footage. Zoomed in. No one visible. No shadow under the door. No reflection. Just the handle, moving on its own. Nadia watched the screen in silence. Then she said something that shifted everything again. When I opened the door, I thought I heard something. Imran turned toward her. What kind of sound? She hesitated. Then answered quietly. Like someone was already inside, but trying not to make noise. The room went silent. No one dismissed it. Because at that point, there was nothing left to dismiss. So they decided to test it. Right there. That same night. Room 407 was sealed. No one allowed inside. The lights were turned off. And a camera feed was set up directly facing the door. They waited. Watching the monitor from the security room. Time passed slowly. 12:08 a.m., nothing. 12:31 a.m., still nothing. At 1:02 a.m. the lights inside room 407 turned on. By themselves. By the time the lights inside room 407 turned on by themselves, the investigation had already crossed the point where it could be explained as a technical error. Everyone in the security room saw it happen in real time. The feed didn't cut. There was no glitch. No interference. The room was completely dark 1 second, and fully illuminated the next. No one had entered. No keycard had been used. And yet, the system recorded a state change inside a room that, according to every log available, should have remained inactive. Imran didn't speak immediately. He just stared at the monitor, watching the now-lit room sit completely still. The bed remained made. The curtains didn't move. There was no visible presence. But something about the way the light filled the room felt wrong, not dramatic, not flickering, just active, like the space was no longer empty. They rewound the footage. Played it again. Slower. Frame by frame. There was no transition. No gradual change. The lights didn't turn on. They simply were on. At that point, Imran made a decision that would later be questioned by management. He was going to enter the room again. But this time, not alone. At approximately 1:08 a.m., Imran, along with the front desk manager and a second security staff member, returned to the 4th floor. Nadia refused to go back. She stayed in the control room, watching the live feed instead. The hallway was empty. Exactly as before. Room 407 stood at the end of the corridor, its door closed, but light now visible from underneath the gap. Imran paused for a moment before reaching for the handle. Not out of fear, but hesitation. The kind that comes when something doesn't follow rules anymore. He opened the door. The room was exactly as it appeared on camera. Lights on. Bed made. Bathroom door slightly open. But this time, the air felt different. Colder. Not dramatically. But noticeably. Imran stepped inside slowly, scanning every corner again, more carefully than before. The other two stayed near the entrance, not fully committing to entering the room. Nothing moved. Nothing appeared. And yet, something felt present. He walked toward the bed. This time, he didn't touch the pillow. He just observed it. The indentation was back. Not identical to before. Not in the exact same position. But fresh. As if someone had just shifted their head slightly. Behind him, one of the staff members whispered, "Sir, did you see that?" Imran turned. What? The man pointed toward the bathroom. The bathroom light was off. But on the monitor, just seconds ago, it had been on. Imran looked at the door. It was still slightly open. Dark inside. No one had touched it. No one had entered. And yet, something inside the room had changed. That's when the audio system picked it up. Back in the control room, Nadia heard it first. A faint sound coming through the hallway microphone. She turned up the volume. It wasn't static. It wasn't interference. It was movement. Soft. Controlled. Like someone walking, barefoot. Inside room 407. She immediately called Imran. "Sir, don't move." Imran froze. What happened? There's movement inside the room. He looked around. Nothing. No one. Then, he heard it too. Not through the system. Inside the room. A step. Right behind him. He turned instantly. Nothing. But the sound continued. Slow. Measured. Circling. Not fast. Not aggressive. Just moving. The other two staff members stepped back toward the door. One of them said quietly, "Sir, it's inside." Imran didn't respond. He was looking at the mirror. Inside the bathroom. From where he stood, he could see part of it. And something was wrong. The reflection. It showed the room. The door. The hallway behind them. But it didn't show everything. For a moment, just a fraction of a second, Imran was sure of something. There was a delay. Not a glitch. Not distortion. A delay. As if the reflection was catching up. He stepped back immediately. That's when the bathroom light turned on. By itself. No switch. No movement. Just instant illumination. The three of them didn't wait. They stepped out of the room together. Closed the door. And this time, Imran didn't reopen it. By 2:30 a.m., room 407 was marked as restricted access. No housekeeping. No guest assignment. No entry without authorization. But the system remained active. Because they needed answers. Over the next 3 nights, the pattern repeated. At different times. Not fixed. Not predictable. But always the same sequence: lights. Movement. Sound. And once, something more. On the 4th night of observation, the camera inside room 407 recorded something that was never included in the official report. At 2:16 a.m., the room was empty.